This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your source for the latest Iowa ag news headlines right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Monday, September 22nd of 2025. It's the first day of fall, and I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but it does feel like the weather's changed already. We're so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I'll be talking with Jamie Horton of DEKALB as we have a late season update on how things have been going and what they are excited about as they head into harvest and into next year. Also have a check of the closing markets with Sam Trainor of agmarket.net. First, here is that conversation with Jamie Horton of DEKALB.
And this has been a very interesting crop year with cooperative weather and then late season disease pressure. A lot of things going on. So Jamie, first off, at this point in the crop season, how's the farmer optimism concerning DEKALB?
Yeah, I think, what we've seen across much of the Midwest is we had a lot of rain early. So there's a lot of variety in planting dates across much of the areas. And certainly we've had differences in rainfalls we've gotten later where, we have seen quite a bit of different diseases out there, whether that's, southern rust or tar spot, which we see, quite a bit every year. Certainly as we look towards the DEKALB genetics and what we see, we look for that consistency and certainly that performance that we expect from the DEKALB brand. And so excited to get into harvest and see what our products are doing and how we can best gear up for 26 as well.
And then as we get into harvest, looking at a lot of great things, what are some of those hybrids that are really kind of highlighted from this past year that farmers were excited to see?
Yeah, there's a wide variety across different maturity groups. DKC 6835 Rib Brand Blend continues to be our number one product within the brand. It's just been a great performing product for us in that full season maturity. As we get a little bit earlier, we've got some great 101 day, 105 days, that we're continuing to really lean on from different traits too. So as we head into 26, we're looking to expand our BT4 Pro and Smart Stacks Pro lineup of products. We're seeing great protection from a corn rootworm perspective, but also top-notch performance that we expect from DEKALB.
And we look at a lot of that Smart Corn, Smart Stacks. We're looking at shorter corn. We're looking at tighter node separation. A lot of those things that are really becoming a benefit specifically for Iowa producers. We've seen wind damage this year. We've seen crops growing too fast and then getting tassel wrap. A lot of different issues that these genetics can handle pretty well, right?
Yeah, certainly, you mentioned a couple different things there. From a Smart Corn system, we're excited to continue to have our groundbreakers, testing that Preceon Smart Corn system with DEKALB in Iowa and seeing the performance that we're getting as well as the access and, to your point, the wind protection. And then, certainly this year, tassel wrap was a key, thing that we saw or phenomenon that we saw this year. And I think growers are certainly curious how it's going to continue to move into the future. We've been very fortunate from a DEKALB genetic perspective to have really great pollinating products as we've, looked across much of the Midwest. So very fortunate to continue to bring those strong pollination, strong performance to Iowa.
So Jamie, as we wrap up here, when it comes to getting in touch with local DEKALB seed dealers and staying in touch on the latest developments, how can farmers do that?
Yeah, so I always say start with your local team. We've got a great network of our local agronomists, local representatives, and our dealer network as well in Iowa. But then certainly outside of that, DEKALB.com is a great resource for finding the best and most up-to-date information on DEKALB.
That again was Jamie Horton of DEKALB. We'll take a look at the closing markets next, but first, here's a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and it's time now to take a look at the closing markets with Sam Trainor of agmarket.net. First off, Sam, what do we see going on in the grain markets today?
Well, the joke today has been, the Chicago Bears yesterday, our hometown team, they had a big win. So the Chicago Board of Trade celebrated by having a bearish tone in the market here. Corn futures were down about 2.5 cents, which came back off the lows. Soybeans were the biggest loser today, down about 14 cents. That too was off the lows, but nonetheless, a pretty negative day on the grain side of things for sure.
We know from last week that there was a lot of hope surrounding President Trump's call with President Xi Jinping. And then all of a sudden it turned out that the expectations were a little too high for that. Things that the markets wanted to happen didn't happen. And it felt like they kind of jumped the trigger and now things are negative, right?
Yeah, it seems like it's one of those situations where we've seen the same movie a few different times, but we keep watching, expecting a different ending here. We were anticipating getting some progress, getting closer to a trade deal, but instead just kick the can down the road a little bit. The two presidents are going to meet with each other in South Korea here at the end of October. And then they both mutually agreed to visit each other in their respective countries after the first of the year. To work towards more progress on a trade deal, but didn't sound like from anything that I read that there was any progress toward specifically a soybean purchase agreement. I think that's what the market was really looking towards because it's no secret that we need China to buy U.S. soybeans to keep export demand strong here for soybeans going forward. And the fact that we didn't get that contributed to the selling there on Friday into the weekend, and that was continued here today.
And then over on the livestock side of things, how did cattle and hogs trade today?
Much different mindset there in the livestock sector. We were sharply higher across the board. It was kind of a wait and see mode here coming into the week. Obviously, livestock markets don't trade overnight. So when we opened at 8:30 this morning Central Time, that was the first time we'd seen the markets trade here since Friday afternoon when that cattle on feed report was released, which that was relatively friendly and largely due to the rally we saw today. However, there was a report of a New World screwworm outbreak that was found 70 miles from the U.S. border. Now, it wasn't in the United States, but it was still in Mexico. But being only 70 miles away from the border, that's the closest known disease that has been detected so far. So wasn't sure if that was going to have some sort of a barrier on the market at all, but it certainly did not, as markets kind of came out, shot out of a cannon here out of the weekend, and we finished the live cattle were up over $4, and the feeders were up over $7 today. So it looks like we're back on track to maybe go up and revisit some of those older highs that we made here just a few weeks ago, and maybe even try to make some new highs.
All right, Sam, lots of great information today for anyone who would like to get in touch with the team at agmarket.net. How can they do that?
Best way would be to visit our website at agmarket.net, or you could give us a phone call here in Normal, 1-800-779-1515.
Thanks again for the time, Sam, and we look forward to more analysis soon.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later.
That again was Sam Trainor of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how the numbers close through the market window at iowaagnet.com.
At the close, December corn down 2 1/4 at 421 3/4. November soybeans down 14 1/2 at 10.11 even. October soybean meal down 4 even at 278.90. October soybean oil down 86 cents at 49.17. Chicago wheat down 11 3/4 at 510 3/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 5 even at 502 1/4. Minneapolis spring wheat down 3 1/2 at 564 even. December oats down 11 1/4 at 310 even. On the Merc, October live cattle up 357 at 237.15. October feeders up 725 at 361.35. October lean hogs up 82 cents at 98.80. Pork cutout went unchanged at 103.90, and October Class 3 milk down 33 cents at 16.85.
That's been a check of the closing market prices, and that also brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM/PM on our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well to check out our free morning, midday, and closing market podcast, as well as the Iowa Ag Matters podcast and Pods of Potential. Find those on your favorite podcasting services at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Andy Peterson, and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.